Theta is starting to wake up, much like I predicted, by the way. So for those who are like critiquing and saying that, oh wow, Theta is a bunch of caca, I can't say I told you so, but hypothetically I did tell you so. But even besides that point, $50, that's still my price target for Theta during this bull run. That's not changing because I do believe that Theta is actually a very impressive project. And fundamentally speaking, it's pretty much better than like 99% of the projects that exist as of right now. And let me explain why. Because after all, Theta is a blockchain-powered decentralized cloud for AI, media, and as well as entertainment. Now, here's where things get a little bit more cooking because people may think this is boring or this is trash or whatever, but here's the thing, right? Theta could actually be viewed as like a dual network, so to speak, because of course there's the Theta Edge network and there's also the Theta blockchain. Now, let's break this down real quick because, even though it may seem boring, I think it's crucial to understand just how special Theta is. For instance, it's been stated that the Theta Edge network provides GPU, and by the way, GPU stands for graphic processing unit, but besides that point, again, it provides GPU compute power, for instance, in AI, video, and as well as rendering. Now, you may be thinking, okay, this is kind of trash, but let me explain a little bit later on just how amazing these markets are. But before that, let's take a look at the Theta blockchain because, for instance, right, it is an EVM. Now, this stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine, but even besides that point, it is an EVM-compatible multi-blockchain network that supports Turing-complete smart contracts. A little bit complicated, but it's cool at the end of the day. That's the way I take a look at it. Not to mention, Theta is also focused on decentralized video on demand, and it allows users to add decentralized video to any website or application. I mean, that's very impressive right there. That's incredible, in my opinion. Not to mention as well, you take a look at, it's even been stated, right? The Theta network isn't some sort of like decentralized version of like YouTube or like Twitch, because some people do think that way. But again, it's just more so providing like an infrastructure, so to speak. It's not really like that again. So yeah, I think that should be taken into consideration. But here's the thing, right? When we take a look at, for instance, the Theta network does feature a dual token design. Now, the first is, of course, Theta, right? The Theta token. Now, the second is something called T-Fuel, which stands for Theta Fuel. Now, this is viewed as the gas token, so to speak, but I think people don't really care about that in the grand scheme of things, generally speaking, which is why I'm focused on Theta here. But yeah, besides that point, even though I do think that T-Fuel is crucial to the whole operation in a sense, we have to take a look at how when it comes to, the markets that Theta is focused on, it's actually very impressive. For instance, right, we take a look at AI. We all know this is going to be the next big thing. At least that's the way I take a look at it. Now, this is all speculation. I don't have a magic crystal ball to tell exactly what's going to happen in the future, but we got to consider how the AI market is predicted to be worth nearly $2 trillion by 2030, according to Grandview Research. So that's amazing right there. That's bigger than some countries' GDP. So I think that's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, even besides that point, we take a look at also another market they're focused on, media and as well as entertainment in a sense, right? We have to take a look at how that market right there, according to Mordor Intelligence, and now this isn't some sort of like Lord of the Rings or like Harry Potter or wherever, Mordor is from, I'm not sure. But besides that point, according to something called Mordor Intelligence, the media and entertainment market size is predicted to reach over $40 billion by 2029. So not 2030 by this point or this instance, but pretty close anyways. But even besides that, some people are probably saying, okay, this market is going to be kind of bad. It's only around 40 billion. Well, it's not so bad. Is it as big as like the AI market at least predicted to? Absolutely not, but it's pretty decent nonetheless. At least that's the way I view it. Now, not to mention as well, Theta to a certain extent is focused on NFTs. Now, it's not, I would say, their main focus, but still there is a focus there in a sense, which some people may cringe because they think NFTs are a complete caca. They're like, caralho, porra. That's not great. But in my opinion, I think better days are ahead, even though it's not going to be like the biggest market of all time, in my opinion. Because yet again, according to Grandview Research, because, after all, they like to predict things, they do predict that the NFT market is predicted, again, to be worth over $200 billion by 2030. So not too bad. Now, when it comes to NFTs, there's still a lot yet to prove. So we'll have to see when it comes to that. But it's pretty good nonetheless. At least that's the way I take a look at it. Not to mention, Theta is currently partners with Katy Perry, American Idol, Lionsgate, and even NASA as well. So NASA is massive, right? Lionsgate, we all know, is amazing. American Idol, very famous, of course. But when it comes to Katy Perry, okay, that's a good addition as well. So yeah, when I take a look at, Theta, I like how they're partnering with like real deal entities, but, to me, if they keep partnering up with like more and more celebrities, I don't really know what that would really do for it, I guess. If let's say Theta came out and said they're partners with like Justin Bieber or like whatever, it's like, okay, all right now, they're not a meme coin, right? So, I would like to have Theta focus on more so on the real deal entities. But even besides that point, when you take a look at NASA, that's massive, right? When you take a look at, for instance, something like, Lionsgate, it's massive. Well, Katy Perry, I guess, is actually a very good addition, but still, I would like to see Theta focus more so on like, real deal entities, if that makes sense. American Idol, I think it's great, but come on. When was the last time anyone watched American Idol? At least personally for me, I mean, I don't even know if that show is doing good or not. I haven't watched that in like years, I mean, but yeah, besides that point, Theta, I think, is heading in the right direction. Well, I guess it makes sense, right? Because media and entertainment, so Katy Perry and American Idol. But yeah, let's move on from this topic. When I take a look at Theta again at the price of $50, I don't see why not. It's amazing, fundamentally speaking. Community is amazing, in my opinion, as well. Exposure is also great. Theta is listed in a bunch of major exchanges, so going to the price of $50 really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever during this bull run. Considering current circulating supply, market cap would actually be $50 billion, which is kind of amazing because if you actually take a look at the tokenomics for Theta, it looks so simple. It's like a billion supply, current circulating supply, I would say. It's actually pretty unique, right? It's like, whoa, usually we see like something with a bunch of digits, a bunch of random numbers, but this one's very clean, very simple, so it's easy to understand. But even besides that, is a $50 billion market cap crazy? No, I mean, BNB reached over 100 billion, Dogecoin reached over 80 billion. I don't think it's too much to ask for during a fully fledged bull run. And take this into consideration. On a video on November 26, Charles Hoskinson, who's the co-founder of Ethereum, but not only that, he's actually the founder of Cardano. But even besides that point, he predicts that in the next 12 to 24 months, again, based on November 26, that, Bitcoin could reach anywhere between $250,000 to $500,000. Now, that may seem kind of crazy, and I agree. But let's say we use like the worst case example, 250,000. Could you imagine what happens to altcoins then? If Bitcoin were to reach that, if Theta and also a bunch of other altcoins, right, are already doing this well as of right now, could you imagine what happens in the future if Bitcoin were to reach that? 200,000 personally for me wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, but 250,000, that's amazing, let alone like 500,000. I think that's a little bit too optimistic. Again, 500,000, but still, Bitcoin, I think, is heading in the right direction. So, let's say around 6 months, 12 months from right now, Theta at the price of $50, that right there really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. I think Theta is very amazing. Fundamentally speaking, again, exposure is A+. So I don't see how it would do bad. Again, it's focused on all the right markets. Now, some people may argue that Theta is not going to gain like mass scale adoption in the next 6 months to a year. And I'm totally fine with that. And I think it doesn't really matter during a fully fledged bull run anyways, because if something Kaka like Luna Classic can even pump, if something like Litecoin can even pump in 2021, and also if something like Klima DAO can even find a bottom and have a decent resurgence, I would say, why can't Theta at least do okay, or should I say do great during a fully fledged bull run? I just don't see why not. As the old saying goes, a high tide raises all ships. If let's say Bitcoin reaches like $200,000 and altcoins start, popping off and the sentiment becomes a lot better, could you imagine what happens to Theta then? At the price of $50, I really don't see why not. At least that's the way I take a look at it during this bull run, of course. And I'm going to still dollar cost averaging into Theta, anytime an income, acquiring, holding, and just waiting, because again, $50 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. Some people may argue that $50 isn't the best upside, but hey, it's still around a 15x from here. It was a lot better actually when I was talking about it, but still, considering how much it pumped, a 15x from here, I don't see why that'd be, so caca. At least that's the way I take a look at it. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's Mali the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.